Hello, everyone, and welcome to the David Goodman Show. My name is Vanita Lambert, and I'm the host of the show. I have my co-host over here, Donna Boyne, and we have a very special guest, Brenda Burton Selden, who's going to give us some really good information on taxes. So go ahead and get your little phone out. Go ahead and get your pencil and paper, because you're probably going to want to write some of this down. And also, I want to mention at the beginning, please follow us on YouTube. I always forget to say that at the end. You know, this is going to be on YouTube, so if you missed something, you could go back and review it. And we're hoping that, a lot of people just start following us. So, become a follower. Okay? So, without any further ado, I am going to turn it over to you, Brenda, because it's tax season. And if you're anything like me, I wait till the very last second. I haven't even gotten all my stuff together yet. So I'll be stressing in about 2 weeks to get my taxes done and to get all my information. And, some of the questions that I have is, one of my main questions, and I think everybody might have this question, Brenda, almost every year, is what else can I do to get more money back, to get a better refund, or to pay, less taxes? That would be my question. I had to pay a lot last year. I think the reason is I lost my accountant. He did our taxes for like 30 years, and then he got sick, and he referred somebody to me, and I did her, and I had to pay a whole bunch of money back because I was unprepared, like I am this year. But I got another guy that my son referred me to, and he told me, as a business, as having my own, as an independent contractor, he said either get an LLC or an EIN. And he said that way you would be able to get more for your buck. Like I could claim part of my house and all these other things. So, you care to elaborate on that, Miss Selden?
Well, first of all, Vernita and Donna, thank you very much for having us on your show with you today.
It's a pleasure.
Bring you greetings from BBS Tax Service in Bridgeport at 1000 Lafayette Boulevard. And just to respond to your question regarding your business opportunity that you're currently in and what's the best way to minimize your taxes.
Can I interrupt you for 1 second? I'm sorry, I did that backwards. Can you just tell our audience a little bit about your background and what you do first of all? Just a little quick, teeny little bio.
A little teeny,
and your experience and how you educate people. That's so important. I forgot to do that. I apologize.
It's okay, Vanita.
So back up, walk it back.
I'll try to make it quick. Currently I'm licensed as an enrolled agent. And being an enrolled agent, you receive your license from the Internal Revenue Service. It requires a strategic training and program where you have to take exams and you have to pass them and successfully. And thereafter, we're required to take CPE credits or obtain instructional credits on tax updates on an annual basis. So I do that constantly. I'm constantly reading tax information, trying to get a better understanding of the different ways to structure a plan for my customers and my clients. And in terms of the other things that I do, I'm a professor at Post University in Waterbury, Connecticut, where I teach accounting. And we also provide some education and training for individual startup businesses that come to us with new ideas, new concepts, and they want to ask the same questions like you. How do I minimize my taxes?
Save me some money.
How do I properly set up my business, if it's a home-based business or if it's a corporation? How do I structure things where I could set up a savings account for my business? So making proper investments and kind of minimize, and the main thing is, just minimizing that tax base. So it does entail coming to us and sitting down with us to get a better understanding of what type of business structure you have and understanding the industry that you're in. Because we have clients that are in healthcare.
Right.
We have clients that are in professional services, like law firms. We have client property management.
Insurance.
Insurance. So we got a host of all different type of clients that knock on our door. So first of all, we'd like to understand what you're doing.
Okay.
And the other part of the, now you mentioned that the other tax advisor mentioned having an EIN number, employee identification number, and also maybe structuring it as a LLC. Well, I would question that first.
Okay.
Is that really necessary if you're a home-based business? Do you have to be an LLC to operate from home? That's not always the case. Depending on how much income the business is earning, then that makes a difference as well, how you should structure. I have some companies or professional service companies that they're making maybe $250,000 on up or $500,000, and that might be the kind of structure, either a LLC or a corporation. One of those corporations that I really like is called an S corporation or a partnership.
Oh.
They don't pay taxes. They don't pay taxes. The individual shareholders, members of the organization pay the taxes. And they call them pass-through entities. So setting up those type of structures might be more meaningful for a business that's generating $500,000 on up in income, or it has the means to do that in the long term, so that the corporation doesn't pay the taxes, the individuals don't. The individuals do, and it flows down to the individuals. And individuals, as you know, pay a different tax under a tax bracket, much lower than the corporations. Yeah.
Okay. So what about for sole proprietors, or 1099s like myself? So I think the reason he may have mentioned that is because I file married jointly with my husband who works for Yale. He works for a regular company, and then I'm a 1099 and I work from home. And so he thought that I might benefit more so since we file that way, and being at home, I can write off, 55% of my house or electric bill. Or I'm just using that as an example. Don't quote me on anything I say, and don't try to claim it, because I am not a tax accountant. Full disclaimer. She is.
Yeah.
So we can
there
get it
is
from
a
her.
certain percentage that
Right.
you can write off. And as a sole proprietor or LLC, you can do the same thing along with the regular 1040 tax return. So again, becoming a LLC, a limited liability company, is what it's actually called. You register with the state of Connecticut, and once you register, you have to realize once you have to file with them, and then you have to pay a fee to the state. Now, as a sole proprietor, you register with them, but there's no fee involved.
Okay.
So
I'm interested in everything
So
that does not come with a
there's
fee.
some alternatives there.
Okay.
So knowing the alternatives, knowing what tax bracket you're in, because you file a joint with your husband. He has a salary. And so those are some things that overall the tax supervisor would be looking at. The other thing that I like to recommend to my clients is tax planning. So rather than, now this is the period that you should be beginning to set up an appointment with your tax advisor to kind of get an understanding of what to look for next year. What to look for in 2023.
Okay.
Because it's right around the corner.
It is.
Yes.
After April 15th, that's the time to start sitting down and talking to your tax advisor. There's a lot of things that we realize that go on in our lives. Different stages and different planning. Now, you just mentioned to me you had a granddaughter. So sweet.
Yes.
That's so sweet. So eventually that granddaughter is going to grow up and go to college. Might be a good time for the two of you to be thinking about college planning for her. And how would that affect you as grandparents? Is there any deduction or anything available that you can get? Or maybe perhaps the parents should consider. Eventually, you said your husband is working, and he's working at Yale. There's going to become a time he's going to want to retire and maybe take his beautiful queen and they relocate somewhere else. I'm just using
Not
that
North
as
Carolina. I'm staying in Connecticut. I'm letting you know right now.
I'm just using that as an example. But that's going to come.
Yeah.
So
I get you.
there may be a time, and maybe sometime in the, well, close to the future, you look at things like that.
You do.
You look at things like that. You know, we see those kind of planning opportunities come up all the time, where people they have children. The children eventually grow up and they move out of the house. Well, they go to college, and then the
There's
parents.
no money for college.
Well, yeah,
Or
but
little.
there's scholarship opportunities out there. There's some, but there's student loans as always. With those opportunities in going to college, there's tax credits that are available for the students that the parents can take on their own tax return. So those are some important points as parents to consider. Where is the funding? Prior to the kids get to that point, and then talking to their tax advisors. Well, what do I need to do to prepare for that? What kind of benefits does the state offer? The state has, was it a
529.
529 program, the CHET program. And now it's being managed by Fidelity, which I think it's a good opportunity for parents to take that into consideration, because those funds that they put in, they're deductible under the state's on the state's tax return. So there's many different opportunities that they can consider.
So is there the age bracket there for that?
Well, depending on the normally that applies to parents to have students that are in college.
Oh,
Right.
And getting ready to go to college. You don't have to be. Parents can start with that CHET program. They can
Right.
start right away.
Yeah, zero. Let me
Yeah.
ask you a question about the 529, because I am in insurance and I have a different opinion about, college funding for kids. Now, if you set up a 529, which is a tax-free college fund for a child until they go to college, what if that child decides not to go to college? Do you have to pay taxes on the money?
Well, I believe you may. I'm not
Okay.
exactly sure, but
Okay, so
but
that's-
something they may have to,
Okay.
because it wasn't used for the purpose intended.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why when in my business, I always recommend life insurance, universal life insurance, because you can build up as much, you can save for a college fund and a universal life insurance policy, which has a living benefit and a death benefit. And there are no restrictions, no age restrictions, no requirements. You can take the money out when you want and use it for whatever you want. And I didn't know about that. When we were coming up, we didn't have any money to save for college. First of all, let me just put it out there. But those are some of the things that I didn't know about. So what if you saved all this money in a 529 and your daughter was just this great little ballerina and got a scholarship and didn't need it and wanted to buy a car or a house? Then you would have to pay taxes on that lump sum of money that you didn't use. So that's something, that I would throw out there too. So I like to have a lot of different options.
Yeah.
But let's just say somebody like my son, I want you to give, our audience a little basic information.
Can I just interject on
Oh,
what
yeah,
you just,
sure.
that last one? In regards to that 529 and the funds not used for intended, that's where that planning comes in. You know,
Okay.
hopefully whoever invested those funds, they would be aware that, okay, by now my kid's not going to go to college. They're going
Right.
to do something else.
But
You
yes.
know, they might go to a trade school instead. So that would be an opportunity for them to divert the funds or roll them over and or talk to a financial advisor about that so that they would not lose. But I still think it's a good opportunity.
Yes.
You know, I think
Yes.
anytime saving funds for whatever purpose, because we never know what we're going to use it for.
Exactly.
That
We
was
never.
what I was gonna ask. If there's
Yeah.
a way to, you
Yeah.
know, plan that
Oh,
before
yeah.
it reached the point where
Sure.
the
I
child
think
don't
there-
go to school. you know.
Yes, I think there is an opportunity. But as you stated, they could be, you know, if they don't divert by a certain time period, I would say that they
And
more than likely
I
will
would
be.
say too, it's good for us all to have life insurance plus have that in line too.
Yeah.
Both of them is very important.
But here's the thing about life insurance. If you know how to utilize it, you may not need $1 million in life insurance, okay? You just may not need that. But in order to take advantage of the tax-free benefits of life insurance, you may need $1 million because you're not going to pay taxes on that money. You pay taxes on it at the beginning because when you pay a life insurance policy, it's getting paid out of your checking account. So you already paid the taxes on it. And it is one of the 2 contracts in the world that is tax-free. To your beneficiary, the death benefit is 100% tax-free. You never have to explain it. All of the income that you put into it is tax-free. You may pay a small capital gains tax on, you know, the gains, but all the money you put into it is tax-free, so you get to take it out. So if you take that money out, say you put 50 grand into a life insurance policy and you save it for, I don't know, 20 years, you get to take out the first 50 grand tax-free. And you can't do that in any other type of policy, any other type of contract, except for maybe a Roth. And a Roth is in the market, so it can go up and down. You never lose that. It is a guaranteed income.
Investment, yeah.
Guaranteed investment, and zero is a hero. You can never lose the money on it like you could in a mutual fund. So anyway, I don't want to get too much into insurance.
Because
We
I
wanna
have a
talk
question.
about taxes.
I want to ask a question because you mentioned something about home business. Because I love braiding, and I know that you don't have to have a license for braiding at home. How do I go?
Start?
Yes. How do I start?
Well, one of the ways to start to develop your customer base.
Yes, I started that.
Now, the other concern being such that, you know, you're doing it from home, you may want to reach out to the town that you live in and find out if you need a registration with the town. There's a
Okay.
document called a trade name certificate.
Trade name.
Yeah, trade name certificate. The city of Bridgeport, Stratford, all the towns, local towns.
Okay.
They do have those, and it's a small dollar amount to complete it, and they register your business in the town, and then you want to make sure you have some insurance
Okay.
on the premises. You know that includes your operation,
Right.
and then you you want to make sure you have good set of books, records. How you're gonna track your income and
Right.
track your expenses. Have your own bank account separate from your own personal account.
Right.
And you need your clients.
And
That's
then you
it.
start braiding.
Yeah, you just need the clients, and that's it. And and I guess from there you want to make sure you just be prepared to market yourself and be in good health
Yes.
to do what you need to do. That's the
Yes.
main thing. So
Good.
that's how I would look at it.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That helps.
Yeah,
That
that's the main thing. Yeah.
So the number one key, I think, is planning. No matter what you're going to do, whether it's insurance, whether it's taxes, whether it's whatever.
I have planned.
But I am terrible with my taxes. I'm really good in insurance, but I'm terrible with my taxes. I don't have it all planned out.
What do you mean
I'll
by
be
that?
scrambling.
What do you mean by
Oh,
terrible?
I got to go and find out how many miles I drove for the whole year.
Okay.
I got to go back and do my appointments. I got a bag full of receipts.
Oh goodness.
I'm bad.
It's called documentation. I know
And I'm looking for the easiest way to do that.
Okay. Well, there's many
On my phone,
No.
No?
I mean, you could. There's different vehicles out there where you can track, your mileage on your phone. I've used different, resources
apps on
to
your
do
phone
it.
and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, there's many there, but you go back, and sometimes I've said to my clients, look, I mean, how many times do you take your car in to get it oil changed? And we're supposed to take it in every quarter, right?
Yeah.
Every 3,000
Every
miles,
3,000
maybe?
miles.
Or 3 months, yeah.
Okay.
It could be the time
And
or the
when we
miles.
do that, they have the mileage. Okay, and that's one way to see how often you travel. But for business versus personal, the IRS prefers that you provide a detailed log, which says where you've gone. If you left home or you left your place of business, office space, to the client's location. You're supposed to document that.
Right.
Document how often and maybe the purpose as well. Why did you go there? Or why did you take that? Not so much why you took them out to lunch, but if you took someone out for lunch, was it for business?
Right.
Okay.
I got you.
And travel as well. We prefer to have a detail. I always ask my clients for a detailed log.
I'm trying to do that, Brenda. I'm really trying.
Well, another example is if you have your calendar on your phone, keeping a record of where you've gone. I can have it today in my calendar that I came here today.
And this is logged for business.
And this is the deduction because the purpose of this is for my business.
Right.
So I put down the time, who I'm going to see, and why.
And why.
And it's on my calendar.
And it's a business expense.
And it's a business
And you
deduction.
can count the mileage.
Yes.
Or whatever else you may do. Good.
Yep, mileage. Especially now that the gas prices are up. I'm gonna count it. I want that deduction. So that means I'm gonna track it.
Speaking of mileage, okay, I got to interrupt you here. How many miles can you claim in a given year? What's the maximum? Is it like
maximum?
50,000 or 100,000? Is there a max?
No,
There is none? Okay.
It's based on
What you do.
was it reasonable, ordinary, and
Or-
necessary.
Okay. And I
So
work
that's
by
the-
appointment. I go to house, so I work by appointment. So that's, for me, it's always, on the road. It's always reasonable.
Is it always listed in your calendar where you're going?
I started this app that I need to go back and label
No,
everything
I'm talking about your
Everlance.
regular calendar.
Oh,
See, now
yes.
you
All
get
my
it.
appointments are written down,
See, that's what make it more difficult to get it done because you're adding all these extras to it. Just keep it simple. You have your calendar. You say where you're going and who you're going to see,
Okay.
and then you go back 12 months later and still there.
That's right.
Am I right?
Sounds
Yes.
simple to me.
They're still there. Use that.
That is so true.
Yeah, keep it simple, and then you'll be more apt to utilize it. I have one client of mine, she's in healthcare. She gives me a beautiful spreadsheet. I said, this is awesome.
I know who that is.
I don't know. I don't have too many people that do this, but they do. She does.
It makes your work easier.
And she does a fantastic job. It makes my job easier. All I
Yeah.
have to do is maybe ask her, massage it a little bit, ask questions, and then I'll just take it and pop it into the tax return.
Okay. So, I know you have to take your CE credits and, classes every single year. Oh my goodness, we only got 4 minutes left.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
So
it's
I
been
want
fun.
you to have this time. Forget
Okay.
about my questions.
Okay.
So is there something basic, important, or whatever you want to share with the audience? We have about 4 minutes left.
Okay.
And I want you to have all 4 minutes of it to give us some good advice, whether you're just, you just had your first job and you don't know what to do with your taxes or where to go. Most people just run to HR Block or something like that. So what do you recommend, Brenda?
Well, I think, from my opinion, one of the things when you're choosing or selecting a tax preparer or you're selecting an accountant, you want to select somebody that you can trust, okay? And you want, not only are you looking for the knowledge and experience, and but I think trust is a big factor. You
Yes,
know,
yes.
Are you
And
accepting new clients?
I am accepting some. Yes, I am quite busy. Thank God. It's
Let us
been
know how to get in touch with you.
And that best way is you can give us a call on our number there. Plus, like we indicated, we're at 1000 Lafayette Boulevard in Bridgeport, Connecticut. We've been at that location for 6 years, and we're clients have have no problem finding us, and we work with small businesses, we work with corporations, and we also do some bookkeeping for clients. So we look forward to providing service for you, and we thank you for inviting us again.
And you also offer like a lot of training classes, a lot of online training classes. You still do that, or I know you
Well,
did.
we have a seminar coming up, we're calling it Investment Boot Camp, and it's going to involve investments and taxes, and that's on March 31st at 7 p.m.
Okay.
So I hope.
Is there a cost?
Well, you can go on. It's going to be on Eventbrite, and there's no cost. It's free.
Okay, that's good. It's free. Okay. Another question I wanted to ask you. Now, you work for businesses. You also train folks to do their payroll, or do you do payroll? I know there's a list of things that you do. So.
Well, we do not. We prepare payroll.
Okay.
And we actually provide QuickBooks training.
Okay.
That's software training and helping our clients, keep their books up to date and current. So we do a lot of that.
Yes, because
Yeah.
a lot of businesses need that. I mean, almost every business I know of outsource their payroll to, a couple of names. Well, one of the names we used to use is Paychecks, or something like that to get them done, or somebody to train them, because you could spend a lot of time if you're a business owner doing payroll. That could take an awful lot of time.
Yeah, we outsource some of our payroll, and then we prepare some in house.
Okay.
But we have partners that work in that field that are very good in terms of helping us with payroll, helping our clients closing out during the year. We work with nonprofits too. I forgot to mention that. We do a lot of work with those as well. So I look forward to anyone giving us a call and helping us, help you, and it's a real good benefit to be here with you today.
Thank you so much,
Lots of
Brenda, for
information.
coming
Thank you
on
for
the show
You're
and
welcome.
sharing all that great information. And you're taking new clients, so please give her a call. Thank you very much. And this is the David Goodman Reality and Truth Show, and we're on your side.